Disclaimer: the hosts of this podcast, Timothy Patrick and Will Foley, are by no means medical professionals. However, having lived experience with mental illness themselves, they have gained useful perspectives on common mental health issues that some of us struggle to overcome on a daily basis. By sharing their stories, they hope to create connection. By creating connection, they hope to help you find your purpose. And through purpose, we can all begin to build the foundation for positive mental health. This is Above Ground Podcast.
Are you ready to lace up your boots, throw up your horns, and jump into the pit? Then let's stomp the stigmas of mental illness. It's time for Above Ground Podcast. Now, Will Foley and Timothy Patrick.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 115 of Above Ground Podcast.
Above Ground Podcast, because you can't serve below.
Yeah, you know who that is, down with TPP.
Yeah, yes, sir. You know me.
Why are you laughing, Timmy?
We have the soothing sounds of Will Foley this evening.
Yeah, dude, it's about as much as my voice can crank out this evening. Dealing with a little bit of sinus issues, man. I got a sinus infection and stuff, so we're gonna soothe our way through it, though. Hey,
yes, there you go. See, Will Foley's a true professional. He shows up. He's sick. He's got an infection, but we brought the boots and we're gonna stomp anyways.
That's right. I'm gonna stomp my way all to a little tea and some coffee next to me, and
exactly. See,
yeah,
perfect.
Timmy, tell our friends all about where they can find us.
Well, they can find us on, let's see, all the socials that I believe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, pretty much at Above Ground Podcast on most of them. I think there's Above Ground Pod.
Yeah, Twitter.
Is Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, which we don't really give a shit about Twitter anyway.
Nah,
we got to have a Twitter. I just started my own LinkedIn too, so we've been getting I've been sharing the last couple episodes on that.
Cool. There you go. But you can always just email us if you have any questions or concerns, show ideas at abovegroundpodcast@gmail. Sorry.
Yeah. You can find us at abovegroundpodcast.net.
Yes.
Woohoo, yeah.
So what are we doing today, buddy?
Well, to me, this is kind of a bittersweet episode in a way because, well, it's kind of time to do a little end of summer housekeeping. And we have a stockpile that gratefully a stockpile of some incredible interviews.
Yes, we do, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. We're the stewards of some amazing wisdom and just some wow.
Well, it's funny because it kind of started out. Will and I both had the idea that we wanted to do something for the month of September for suicide prevention awareness, and we had one or two people that were willing to share with us, and so we had one or two interviews, and we were like, cool. And then it just kind of grew. We got a couple more, so we decided that we were going to dedicate every Wednesday in September to these stories that we feel are super important and should be heard. Not saying that your story out there shouldn't be heard, but these stories we feel are needed to be heard. We need to start speaking up, talking about these kind of convoluted subjects like suicide, depression. And we both feel that talking about it can help. We're not trying to trigger anybody or push people into having a conversation about heavy topics. These are people that agreed to do it and are all for sharing for the purpose of awareness and hopefully, being able to decrease some suicides along the way.
Yeah, that's right. We're very, very fortunate that this road has led us down this path. And that we had some amazing, we've had, like, it's been over 2 years now, and we're pushing the third year, and we've got some really cool stuff coming down the road too. There was some stuff that I was working on prior to the summer hitting, and just being a little bit under the weather and stuff the last few weeks has kind of set me back a ways. But there's some other stuff that we're working on towards the fall, which will probably carry us into the new year, because the book and the message are incredible, and all the people that took part in it are all first responders, and a lot a lot of it is like, it's amazing that we get to share a lot of these stories, and that people are willing to talk to us, man, and that people are willing to put themselves out there like they are. And that's the only way we can really, like, that's what we really need in this world, is true connection. We need to
Yeah, yeah,
feel
for
each other's
sure.
pain for a little bit.
Well, it's funny that you say this, because literally like 15 minutes ago on Instagram, I watched uh, I forget his name, TJ the therapist or TJ the counselor. He does these every Thursdays. He does these little um, video sessions, and he said something that really stuck with me. And he said that vulnerability creates connection, and I think he's right. I think that we all know that these subjects are hard to talk about, but if we can kind of maybe start the conversation, it may make somebody else feel a little bit more comfortable and vulnerable, because they're like, well, this person, seems like they may have gone through something similar as I have. So then they may open up and share their story. And who knows, you could have a decent friendship that comes out of that.
That's right. There's a lot of wonderful things are forged out of pain.
Yeah,
Every wonderful piece of art is generally forged out of pain. So,
that's
and
a
if
good, yeah.
life is a work of art, man. So, and every time that you breathe that first breath in the morning, your canvas is renewed and you get to paint again. So it's, now. I always there? No. Am I there every day? Absolutely not. And I still struggle that once in a while with those thoughts of, wow, man, it would be much easier if I just, you know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
then you realize that that's just a feeling that you're having at the time. And,
and that's what I was just going to
and
say. And that
you
you're,
just
it's,
ride that wave out, and you let that wave go through. And then the next wave comes, and you hope it's a bigger wave that you can surf back in. That's a good one.
and that's progress, my friend. That's healing, being mindful of these ideations and thoughts that can pop into our heads, and kind of, I guess we'll say challenge them, and try and stay on the opposite side of the emotional mind, which would be the wise or logical mind, and like you did, just try and ride it out. And if you need to reach out, if you have a struggle buddy, if you don't have a struggle buddy, Will and I are always available to be your struggle buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I always got a little bit of space, man. I've kind
Yeah,
of freed up a little bit more in recent, just trying to take steps back from certain situations that I just need to be away
yeah,
from right now, just because. And it's hard, man. It's hard, especially this time of month, man. September has been suicide, a suicide prevention and awareness month, quote unquote. But for the organizations that we're affiliated with, and including us, and I say this all the time, it's a 365, 24/7 thing, man. This isn't once a year. This isn't once a week. This is
nah,
a daily,
it's a lifestyle,
thing.
man.
I will say this, it's an exhausting thing though. And I've realized this in recent months as I've struggled off and on over the course of the last few months, just with um my own feelings and stuff. And I realized that I've been involved now for about the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years or so, on this part of it where you start to go to events, and you start to remember people, and unfortunately we have a loss that's really close to us. in recent years.
Yes, we do.
That we've celebrated at the Walk for Rita, and this year, Jesus, I better get this date right. Timmy, talk for a second.
All right. Well, while we'll gather some information, some facts about the upcoming Rita Walk, that will be the same spot at Saratoga Park. Actually, the week of the Wednesday before that Sunday, we actually have a local guy, Patsy, and we had a great conversation with him, and Will and I both can't wait to share that one for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. Patsy's really wow. And I love watching his videos, man. If you look up Patsy Greco, he's a tattoo artist. He owns Fastlane Tattoo, right? Is that the name? That's the name of the place, Fastlane Tattoo. And is it Castleton? Is that his mailing address, or is it it's on
it sounds right though. You're right. I just don't know exactly, so I can't say.
Yeah, Patsy is an awesome dude, man. And if you find him on Facebook, you watch his videos of his daily walks. He's full of wisdom, man. And he's got a really heavy story, and I'm so grateful that he was willing to share it with us and talk, just talk about it and so openly as he is and stuff. We also, we've had some really incredible experiences with people over the last couple of years, and like these upcoming interviews, like are some really good ones, man. Because like Tiny Evie Rocks, which is going to be the first actual episode in September. That's episode 116. That's an episode called "Don't Stop Believing," and that's about the loss of a 12-year-old daughter, man, and turning that loss of their 12-year-old daughter into a not-for-profit called Tiny Evie Rocks. Tiny Evie Rocks, and they leave these really cool rocks all over the place, and they got together with their town and created a park.
Yeah.
And the story is incredible, really cool people. And I said I wanted to paint some rocks, and I still haven't gotten around to painting some rocks, man. I want to paint some rocks. Here, deliver that in a priority box. Here's some rocks.
Well, now's a perfect time for you to do that, because now you should be kind of laying low, relaxing a bit, something you can do with the daughter.
Yes, I know. And I love rocks. Christ, 2 weeks ago, I was laying like 2 yards of them under my deck. Was too.
So let's get back into.
Yeah, so that's going to be episode 116, and then episode 117 is the day after tomorrow, man. An anonymous story of loss, grief, and rebuild.
Another story of I would say thrival. I mean,
thrival story for sure. Thrival story.
To hear all these stories, but to hear these stories and to hear what these people have gone through, and then what they came out and where they're at now is nothing short of remarkable, really. And but it also, I think it creates hope, and I think it shows people that it's possible.
No, that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to do that on a peer level, the peer perspective, man. Yeah.
And I think suicide, being that it's the 10th leading cause in the United States, it's a big topic. It's something that should be addressed more, and it should be I don't even know the word. It just should be talked about a lot more, and it's something that should be addressed and tried to decrease the numbers. I mean, we're trying to do our part on a lower level, but it's
the CDC numbers, the most updated numbers are from 2019. The 2020 numbers aren't available yet.
Mm-hmm.
But more than 47,500 people died by suicide in 2019. That's a death. That's a death every 11 minutes. So in the amount of time that we've been chatting, somebody's died. So if you think
Yeah.
about it like that, you know what I mean?
That is, yes. And then the even more scary thought is, the second leading cause of death for individuals between the ages of 10 and 34 is, that age group is, I mean, just to say 10 alone is like,
Well, it's staggering, dude. It's staggering.
Oh,
It's scary. It's scary. It's downright scary.
It is scary. That's a word, you know what I mean? But I think that you feel the same as, if we can get more awareness on this topic and
now, according to the CDC, it's the second leading cause in that age group.
Second leading?
Yeah, that's what it says on here as of 2019. But I've heard the statistics so many times just in recent years, just being with going to AFSP events and being around AFSP.
Whew. Yeah,
dude, that's staggering. Those are staggering.
It's real. It's it's the reality. It's the reality of things. And to hear, veterans, there's 22 per day, and that number's probably growing.
I wouldn't, I mean, yeah, I would expect it will go up soon. If it's not up already, I would expect it to go up soon. But that's just me looking at history of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest of times that we're in currently, and there's people struggling.
There are some strategies, though.
There are some strategies for sure, and I think that's another reason why we're here is to, shed some light on some of these different tools you can use and strategies. Not even just strategies and tools alone, but there's places and there's people out there that are willing to listen and are willing to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, there are. I mean, aside from the 1-800-273-8255.
Sure.
Aside from that, you can text. I should know this by now.
Is it the
741 741?
I don't know it. Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's 741-741. That's the crisis text line. You text hello or help, somebody will text you back. That's the same line that's run by the phone number.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So I'm reading something.
The Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the national.
So I'm reading something now, and I believe it's also the CDC, and it's there's an average of 123 suicides each day in this country.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we can kind of promote some awareness and help initiate change, that's.
We figure that's 5 people. Well, if someone dies every 11 minutes, someone dies in just one set of people. That's 5 people an hour. So in the course of a 24-hour, man, that's 220 people.
It's a heavy figure, man.
That's a lot, man. That's real math. That's a lot of That's a lot of fucking pizza.
That's a lot of pizza.
You know what I mean? If you think about it, think about 200 pizzas, man.
No, I know. Look at, I get it.
I'm not comparing, and that's not. Please don't take that the wrong way. That's not what I didn't mean it that way, but I'm just saying it in broad terms of the numbers, the scope of the numbers.
Right.
That's terrible. I mean,
it is terrible. It's terrible.
See, what we need to do is we need to promote more connectedness. Like, we need more availability to connectedness. We need more availability to peer groups and places willing to host peer groups and quite honestly, people willing to come out to them too. You gotta utilize the stuff too if it's there.
Yeah, and
how do you get people in?
Right. That's one of the hard parts. I think that the people that need it the most are the ones that probably aren't going to really come out.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like,
so how do you reach these people, or how do you let them know that, you're there. It's a tough thing. That's why I always say that there has to be some accountability, on that person as well, just because of how it works out. It's just, you have to, assess your own mental state, each week or whatever it may be. And, try and check in with somebody if you have a friend or a close family member, or heck, just, text that number that Will said, I mean, that these people are there 24/7, long enough to possibly just get whatever it is off your chest. And, sometimes letting it out helps, that's why journaling is a big help, just getting almost like putting your thoughts and words, into words on paper.
Well, there's a scientific proof that if you write down stuff on pen to paper, it uses a different part of your brain, so
Right.
it processes it differently. I started writing letters to myself as a kid, now telling stories and talking about now and talking about.
You've been doing a couple more.
Yeah.
Nice, good for you, man. How are you feeling about it?
Really good. Really good. Yeah. Quite honestly, if it wasn't for the loss of my voice, I would have never even known I was really that sick. If it wasn't for the cough, it was the cough that really got like I felt the pressure in my sinuses come in, but like I wouldn't have thought about anything. If I could sing, I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that I can't say, I can't get out of a dull roar at this point. So.
Have you, like, after you write them, have you read them back? Do you go back and read them or no?
No, I haven't read anything yet.
Yeah.
No, I'm still.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's what kind of did it for me. Like I kind of put it off, and then once I read it, it was that was the old gut punch right there for me.
Yeah.
But I think it opened another door for me to expand another letter as well. So,
like, how did you approach it though?
The original?
Yeah, like how did you approach it? Did you approach it from a questioning way of how could I have helped you, or did you just unload like some emotional stuff to just say?
No, it was almost. Well, I did. The first one I ever did was I actually again, my therapist recommended both times, but the first time I ever did it was I wrote a letter to my mom, just as if I would send it to her and she would be able to read it. So it was like almost like getting some of that stuff out and kind of saying like, hey, she's going to read it, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's been suggested for me, and not give it just to get it off of me, just to take the weight off of me.
Right. But later on, I did one to myself, and it was very similar. It was more just like, hey, like, I know that there was, unfortunately my memory sucks, so it's hard to like pinpoint certain specific events, I guess, but it was kind of it was a broad thing of like, hey, I know that you may have felt like you weren't loved enough, or that maybe some things happened and it led you to these thoughts. I just wanted to let you know that, like, I got you now and things are going to be good.
Good. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Very
no,
cool.
It was cool. It was like, again, reading it back was the thing that really got me. Like writing it was like one thing, because I kind of did it in like little pieces sometimes.
Yeah.
But then you sit down and you read it, and it took me a while to read that one. That one was a tough one for me.
Yeah. I started to write a letter last night, but I just couldn't concentrate. I wrote like 2 pages, and that was all I could really.
Yeah, well, that's plenty.
But that's enough. Like the first one was 10.
That's right. Where was it?
Yeah, but it was like journal pages. So the first one was 10, and I know all the rest of them are going to be pretty. Yeah, because I kind of started at a point, and then I kind of incorporate all these things because I'm trying to arrange my thoughts too. I mean?
Well, that'll help. Sure.
That's kind of how, just kind of arranging stuff, in my own mind.
Okay.
Just to get it all out on paper before I forget it all. You know what I mean?
Little file cabinet action going on.
Yeah, sort of. I'm cleaning out the closets, man. I'm learning how to dance with my skeletons.
file it under F.
Yeah, filed under F.
Oh man. So we're gonna get some episodes together for National Suicide Prevention Month, and each Wednesday of that month will be a new episode featuring a new story. That has, again, like Will said, it has loss, it has thriving, surviving. It's got all the different kinds of emotions you can think of, and again, some of them might be hard. Some of them may trigger some people on things, but we do this. It comes from the heart when we do this. We do this because we both believe that talking is the best way, and that sharing a story can, not only help others, but it can, help the person telling the story at times. We've had people, tell us the story and they never actually told it in that depth and length before. And they had told us like the day after that it actually helped them, that was just like incredible. You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't even released yet. And we had, I guess, touched or helped, however, whatever word you want to choose, but we helped somebody out. We were an ear, and we held space for that person to, share their story. So I think we need a willingness to be open to learning more, and open to sharing more, and speaking up, about these topics, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to do our best the month of September and beyond. We're getting into October, man. We're getting in the fall. We got some newer stuff coming up for that, man. So it's going to be exciting. It's been an honor and a privilege to bring these conversations and just have these conversations and actually be able to have the privilege of having these conversations, man, and being, and I gotta take the time while we are actually like releasing an episode. I owe Timmy an apology. Been a little tense over the last couple months, and him and I had a little bit of a thing, and kind of it was really kind of my fault, even though I really didn't mean to do it, but it was really my fault, and I should have, like, I haven't quite learned how to manage my emotions as much as I talk about it.
Ditto.
So I blow my fuse sometimes, and unfortunately there's there's things that there were things that I said that I meant, and there were things that I said that I certainly didn't mean, and there were certainly things that just kind of, like, it was good to vent, but it's not always good to just leave it. And I'm I'd like to own my shit, and I was actually complimented about that at work the other day, about owning my shit, because I fucked up. And the field advisor called me, and they were like, "Hey, by any chance, why did you only send a postcard to 62 people?" And I was like, "Oh, shit, I don't know. Let me check." So I'm like looking. I forgot to click everybody else. Oh. And I took the address list, and I was like, "Oh, I told her straight out. I said I screwed up. I said I literally only pulled a certain set of membership, and I forgot to pull the rest." And she goes, "Damn it." And I said, "Look, I'll pull them now." And I said, "I'll print it and send it out tonight." And she goes, "I don't know." She goes, "It's probably not going to get here." And I said, "Well, it can't get there if I don't send it." So I said, "Screw it, I'm going to send it." And I said, "I'm not charging you either." I said, that was my fuck up, man. And she actually sent me an email saying, "I'm so appreciative that you just owned it. You didn't blame anybody. You didn't blame the computer. You didn't blame any system." And I was like, "See, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about."
It is, though, but we're human, man. And and that's cool that she was cool about it. You know what I mean? Like, some people may take it like, even if
she mentioned human, because I said, that's what I said to her yesterday. I said, look, I said, I didn't mean to do it. I said it was a total human error on my part, man. I was doing like 3 postcards that day. And I said, I clicked everything. I said, this name was on there because I copied and pasted this from another list, because these names go on every postcard. So I said it was easier for me to copy and paste it. I said, so yeah, that's why he's on there. So that was a fuck up for me too. But
But he owned it. That's, you know.
But I owned it though, man.
And you, like you said, you did it right after you got off the phone or email or whatever, and you took care of it. And, you know, it may not have been perfect or what you wanted, but you did the best that you could do. And that's all that we can do in any situation.
That's it, man. Just do your best. You just do your best, man. Do your best. And, you know, so we're gonna, you know, in a month that is known for a lot of memory and sad, often sad memories for a lot of people. Don't forget, Sunday, September 26th is the Out of the Darkness Walk for Rita. Above Ground podcast. We'll be there for the third year in a row, I think, man. Right? It's like the third Rita that we've been there, right?
So, no,
because Piers was there first, and then yeah. Okay, yeah. But we will be there this year for sure because I just checked off our table with the power.
Perfect. So come check us out. Come walk for a good cause.
Yeah, come look at some quilts and hear some stories and stuff, man. You know, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible loss, and lots of people grieve. But the worst thing we can do is stay grieving forever. We have to celebrate, and it's hard to celebrate if you're constantly in grief. Now, I'm not saying don't take 5 to 7 years to do it. I'm just saying you got to come out of it at some point. You have to come out the other end at some point, or else it's going to or else it swallows you.
Or even just come out of it for that day and try to find some moments of joy and you know, thankfulness that whatever time that you were able to spend with that person, you know.
Try. Yeah.
You know, Absolutely. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, consecutive. It's just, you know, where any day that you can find, you know, a half hour of joy or something pleasurable, then, you know, you're ahead of the game.
Absolutely. We would love to see you. You know, unfortunately, there's probably not going to be much hugging going on. So,
yeah.
That's not really allowed anymore.
We'll just,
but we'll salute.
We'll salute.
And we'll say hi and we'll fist bump and, you know, all that stuff, man. And remember, you know, our loved ones and if we need to release the pain. You know, you cry and you let it out. And
that's true.
It's an incredible, powerful. Like, there's a couple of spots in Spa State Park when people are walking and there's a lot of people that if you stand at the right angle, you just catch everybody sort of coming around. And like in 2019, it was the best year we ever had. And there were so many people walking that it took like a good 5 minutes to get everybody across the one spot, man.
Yeah. It was a good day for it. It was a nice day, I believe, right? The sun was out.
It was good. Yeah, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Couldn't ask for a better day. I mean, you know, 2020 actually wasn't bad. Wasn't bad considering that, you know, we had to make some changes, but it was okay. We did all right.
We did the best we could, right?
We did the best we could, man. You go virtual, you do whatever you got to do.
That's right.
You know,
onward and upward.
That's it. That's all you can do. But this year we'll be live. So please join us. And thank you again for listening to everything. Everybody, if you really like the show, and I'm not saying you gotta, but you can drop us a couple bucks in the PayPal. The link is up in the show notes every week. So if you want to find it, that's cool. And we appreciate it. And, you know, hey, we appreciate everything, man. So thank you very much for listening. And I hope you listen every week. And I hope you listen every week in September so you can hear some amazing thrival stories. So until next time, be well.
Be safe.
Be
above.
If you've lost someone to suicide, you may feel overwhelmed by grief, confusion, or even anger, but you are not alone. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention offers support in the weeks and months following a suicide. The Healing Conversations program gives those who have lost someone to suicide the opportunity to talk with a caring volunteer. Having experienced suicide loss themselves, our volunteers know firsthand the emotions associated with this type of loss. They can offer comfort and guidance, as well as community resources that may be useful on the path ahead. Healing Conversations are available in person, on the phone, or by video chat. To learn more about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and how to schedule your own healing conversation, please visit afsp.org/healing conversations.